Over the last week or so, I've been playing a lot of Floor 7 dungeons, and it's made me realise how actually good of a money making method it really is. Ever since the prices of the Wither Scrolls rapidly skyrocketed, it's becoming better and better. And if you want to find out how you can make so much money running F7, then keep watching. So to give you some context on why I'm making this video and what inspired me, a couple of days ago from time of recording, I dropped an implosion book. And yeah, it's fair to say it made me pretty rich. The Necron's handle and all 3 River Scrolls make so much money from just dropping it alone, and you'd honestly be surprised on how much money it truly makes. That being said, I don't want to waste any more of your time, so let's go on to the video. So why do I now say that Floor 7 is actually a really good money making method? After all, there's been enough videos that have been made on it. Well, although the price of the Necron's handle is dropping quite significantly and has dropped by a couple of 100 millions, the prices of the River Scrolls are rising really quickly, and that's one of the reasons you can actually be making a lot of money from Floor 7. However, I want to state one simple thing, that if your Floor 7 runs are really slow and you're only getting S+ runs like half the time, then it's not really worth your time, to be honest. I'd say that on average your runs should be under 12 minutes as a minimum, and you should be getting S+ runs. So anyway, to get back to the point of the video, I did a little bit of maths, and what I did is I calculated the drop chance times the amount of money or profit that you make from actually opening the chests. And I only did this for the Necron's handle and the 3 scrolls because they're the main drops. What I found was that on average, assuming that you eventually drop a Necron's handle or one of the 3 scrolls, then you'll be making over 1.5 million coins every single run. However, this is just a really rough average, but this is just from those drop chances, which is actually really good if you think about it. Just from this alone, if you do 5 runs an hour, that's 7.5 million coins per hour. Now obviously, as I said before, this is a complete hypothetical because that relies on you dropping all of the 3 scrolls and the Necron's handle at the end of the day, which is not really feasible. However, if you get really lucky, then this hourly rate will actually just go up because you've actually already dropped one early. For instance, I dropped my implosion book around 100 runs into my F7 career, and if you look at it that way, I made around 3 million coins a run just from that implosion book alone. Now although you might say, well, my luck is really trash, so I'm never going to drop any of these. Well, let me put you in a different way. Floor 7 has so many amazing opportunities to actually get a lot of money, and it's not only from the Necron's handle or the 3 scrolls. You have things like recoms, auto recoms, wither chest plates, and this is just small things that you can get and drop to increase your money. Even though you might not drop like a really big drop, you're still going to be making some really good passive income. Additionally, as of dungeons, you're going to be getting wither essence and also stuff like healing potions that sell to 20k for NPC. Ultimately, you're just going to be making like a pretty decent amount of money just from these things alone. And this combined with the fact that you always have the chance to drop one of those really big juicy scrolls or handle, in my opinion makes it all as worth it. Just before we move on to the next part of the video, if you could do me a favour, drop down and leave me a quick like and subscribe, that would really make my day, so yeah, thank you, and let's get on with the video. So now that I've just gone through the amount of money that you're going to be expecting to make through doing F7, however it is really RNG dependent, as you probably know, I'm also just going to be going through a couple of added bonuses that doing dungeons gives you. Firstly, the most obvious is that it gives you Catacombs XP, and as you probably know, dungeons is the only place you can get Catacombs XP, and F7 gives you quite a lot of it. My Catacombs level is always something that I'm looking to level up, and if I can find a good money making method that also involves leveling up my Catacombs level, that's a massive win for me. The second bonus of dungeons is that I just find it pretty fun. Like, it's not really that repetitive, unlike something like mining or farming. Sure, you're doing the same rooms every single time, but quite often you just have something different. And that element of RNG is sometimes quite nice to just have a bit of luck involved. And that adrenaline rush when you finally drop that Necron's handle, yeah, I can tell you that's a pretty good feeling. Thirdly, the other thing that's nice about dungeons is that it's a combat related skill, so inevitably you're going to be getting combat XP as well. Ultimately, just running dungeons is one of the main ways that you can level up your profile and better progression. So yeah, that's one reason why I actually really like playing dungeons. That being said, there are a couple of disadvantages as well. The first big thing for me with F7 is that it's really quite item gated. For instance, I run mage, and yeah, you do need to have a Hyperion, I'm sorry to say. If you wanted to get into actually good parties, then I do think you should probably have Hyperion. I just think it's such a good weapon. For mages, quite a lot of the time, if you have low kata and not a Hyperion, then actually you're probably going to get kicked from most parties. Unless you're running it with friends, of course, then it's slightly different in that case. However, not only is dungeons quite item gated, in the sense that you need to have a lot of money to be able to play dungeons efficiently, you also need to have a good catacombs level to be able to run it efficiently as well. To be able to run it well, I'd say a minimum of catacombs 32 is required, to be honest. And even then, you're still going to probably die quite a lot. F7 is also quite skill dependent, so if you don't like actually having to concentrate and playing the game, it is quite intense. However, some people like that, some people don't. It's up to you, really. On top of this, another bad thing about F7, that for instance with terminals, if one of your teammates like disconnects when you're doing a terminal, or if you just forget one, although you can go back and get it, sometimes it's just really annoying, especially if it's like melody or something. Ultimately, what I'm trying to say is that there's quite a lot that can go wrong in F7, and if you dedicate like 10 minutes of your time and then forget a terminal, it can get really frustrating. And on that note, that's probably going to wrap up this video. Just to summarize, F7 is a great money making method for people who want to play some dungeons, get some combat XP, and ultimately, to run on average, assuming that you eventually drop all of the drops in the game, with average luck, you're going to be making around 8 million coins an hour, excluding kismets and everything else, and RNG's this meter. So if you want a relatively RNG dependent, although really decent money making method, then yeah, F7 Dungeons is a good alternative, provided that you have all the gear and skills necessary to complete it quickly and efficiently. Anyways, thanks for watching till the end. If you enjoyed it or found it helpful at all, then please consider liking and subscribing, and also make sure to join the Discord because we host lots of really good giveaways on there, like 15 mil and stuff like that. And with that, have a good day and see you next week.